Welcome to Crossing Streamz number 7.
Siete. I put up 8. Sorry.
Did you number this
I
many?
can't count.
This many? Take away that. So tonight, right now, we're talking about Conan the Destroyer. Now, this wasn't our first choice. This was not our announced choice.
This was our emergency choice.
This was our third choice, our second go-to, and we'll get to that in a minute. But it's
true.
This is our 7th show, or 8th if you're Anthony, where we have 4 firsts to announce.
First
thing
is what?
We had to call an audible in the movie because Red Sonja was no longer streaming as of Tuesday of last week.
Yep.
Yeah, I just called you out.
And that's what we initially wanted to watch. And on last week's episode, I said that it was available. And it was not.
No. That's
But wait a minute. How many audibles did we call?
Well, first we called Red Sonja was what we were going to go with. Then you said Conan because it's free on Netflix. Yep. So we were talking about it last night of all nights, and I said, yep. Conan, it's free on Netflix. You mean the remake? And you said, no, I'm watching Conan, the old one. So here I almost watched Conan the remake, and I almost watched Conan the original on Amazon Prime, even though it's not free. I'm just that dedicated to spend $3 on a movie.
Well, you were going to do that because I said Conan the Barbarian. I said the original. And I was wrong about that too, of course.
So we watched. We watched the second movie. We put the cart before the horse.
That's right. But Conan the Destroyer.
We put the shoe on before the socks. Our second announcement is we moved podcasting services. Doesn't affect anybody unless you subscribe to our original one. So therefore, it affects everybody. So you'll just have to resubscribe in iTunes. If you're within the sound of my voice, if you hear this from iTunes, you're subscribed to the right one.
That's right. You're in the right place.
If not, you need to tell everybody you know to download this, even though that makes no sense and it's not tied together at all. Anyway,
okay. Yeah. Number 3. We are now international. As sad as that sounds,
we're internationally known. Here I am on my microphone.
That's and I'm on my snowball. Yep, you're internationally known to rock the microphone.
So we have listeners in 3 continents, 4 countries. The U.S., because, well, we're listeners. We're probably the only ones. Actually, we're not, but we have listeners in the U.K., in Australia, and in Canada.
That's right.
4 countries, 3 continents.
Not
how
too
does
shabby.
That happen? I don't know how that happened to you.
We really don't know who's listening to us, but thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And our fourth.
Our fourth first.
We have our first panelist.
That's Drew right. We got a guest. We got Drew Sanders on with us.
Very happy to be here, guys.
We're happy to have you.
Coincidentally enough, Drew loves the original Conan. Is it Conan or Conan?
Conan,
baby.
Conan. You know what? I almost watched Conan last night and thought we were going to talk about it today.
We should have.
But you know what? I didn't, so it's okay.
So Drew, how's it going, man?
It's going great, man. I went through the movie last night just to refresh my memory. I didn't really need my memory refreshed for that one because it just made me remember how bad it was. But I'm glad to be here, guys. I'm glad to be talking about this one.
Well, tell people about yourself, a little bit about yourself, just to get out the way.
Well, I am
plug your stuff.
There we go. Well, first of all, I'm a huge movie buff, but I also kind of run in the Android and technology world. I happen to be the chief associate editor for AndroidDissected.com, which is how I learned about you guys through Google+. You were in I think a circle share from Derek Ross, who's another big Android guy, as one of his.
Good friend of mine.
Yeah, he had you listed as one of his 200 important people. So,
Thanks,
I love movies more than I love Android, and I especially love talking about movies.
Right. You love movies more than Android, and you love Android.
I do.
So that means you're crazy about movies.
You know what's funny? If I recall correctly, and Well, I'm not at work anymore, so I can't say that I'm never wrong, because that's true at work. But if I remember correctly, Anthony, in our first episode, we made mention of Android, and that we were not Android, an Android podcast.
That we were not an Android podcast?
Yeah, this was just about movies. So I'm just making a point of the circle of life, Simba.
It's a circle.
It's a round square.
It's a circle. Yeah.
So anyway,
so enough about Drew. Enough about us. Let's dive in, man. Let's dive in. Conan the Destroyer.
Tell me about it.
All right.
What's Netflix say?
Netflix says, while on a quest to retrieve a magical gem, Muscle Man Conan vanquishes mortal and supernatural adversaries with help from his ham-fisted sidekick, a wacky wizard, a fierce woman warrior, and a gigantic bodyguard. But there's a traitor among the ranks.
Scary.
Traitor among the ranks.
So this movie
Get out of here.
stars the obvious Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really have to go into any detail of
Everybody knows who he is.
who doesn't know. I mean, you'd have to live in Antarctica to not know who he is.
And even they know who he is.
Yeah, well, they don't even speak. Well, they kind of bark. So Grace Jones played Zula. I had no clue who the heck Grace Jones was before this movie. Did you?
I did.
I did too.
Yeah.
From what?
Well, she was a model, and she was also in Boomerang. I don't know if you've ever seen Boomerang with Eddie Murphy.
Strong J.
John Jay, there you go. See? Drew knows.
Never seen it.
For me, it was View to a Kill, the Bond flick.
Yep, she was in Bond also.
Yeah.
I believe Boomerang was on Netflix a while ago. It may be there now. I'm not going to commit to it because I always say stuff is on there and it's not. So I'm not going to commit to it. I know it was on there, so I'll guarantee that, but I'm not sure if it's on there now.
I can tell you that I have watched 100% of the movies that Wilt Chamberlain has been in after I watched this movie.
Wilt the Stilt, baby.
I don't know if it was sad or if it was good that this is the only movie that he was in. Probably both.
They only cast him because they wanted to find somebody that was physically bigger than Schwarzenegger to be like his big fight scene.
Which I don't think he was more bigger. He was just taller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the one scene, and we'll get into it later, but where they're at the campfire and he runs into his chest. Looks like a clock, like Flavor Flav would wear.
I mean, the dude was that was Chamberlain in his prime. He was pretty built. I mean, when the fight sequences, he wasn't a small dude.
No, he had some muscle on him, but he wasn't Arnold's. I mean, who is?
No.
Right. Well, he's. I mean, you figure he's a basketball player. He's more lean than anything.
Well, they want him to be fast.
He is athlete, not bodybuilder.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Very true.
And actually, I'm sure you guys read the trivia or something, but Arnold had to actually get leaner. He had to lose weight. He had to lose muscle mass in order to play Conan because he was. I mean, I want to say he was too slow with the sword play. I guess. I mean, it's hard to imagine because he was pretty slow, or in the movies as well. But it's hard to imagine how slow he actually was. Because he's a big dude, man.
Those prop swords were actually steel, and the average weight on one of those that Arnold was using was about 45 to 47 pounds.
Wow.
That he was flinging around.
Jeez.
That's heavy for a movie prop. You think they'd make it had a lot of detail on it though. They were pretty sharp.
Yeah, he was swinging that thing around like it was like. I mean, you could tell it had some weight the way he was flinging it around, but he did all right. He did all right with it. There were a couple of scenes where he was like, flipping it or whatever.
That was a little excessive, don't you think? It's like a psych out from the 15th century.
He had to do something to make it more interesting. He was going so slow. He had to do something to make him look fast.
Yeah. Well, it's like Jet Li movies. He has to move slower. He's the martial artist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's so fast that he can move, and 8 frames will pass by, and it just looks like it's going in it's like the opposite of the $6 Million Man.
Yep, yep.
He's going too fast.
Now, the first thing I want to talk about is this is kind of like, I don't want to say, well, it's kind of like when when Arnold Schwarzenegger is like kind of on the come up as far as, you know, Hollywood is concerned. So it's kind of early in his career. What do you think about
It's after Terminator, though.
Yeah, sure. But I mean, what do you think of, what did you think about his accent? Has it gotten any better? I don't know. What do you guys think?
I don't know. I think it's. I mean, he's definitely gotten better as he's gone along. His accent was pretty thick. It wasn't as thick in this one as it was in the original.
Right, right.
But I mean, that was he was supposed to be this foreigner that was from this this far isolated country. So I mean, it kind of for the character they made it work. But yeah, I think as he's gone along, his accent's gotten his tone down a bit. It's still thick as tar, but not as bad as it was.
I feel like he's learned more words, but his accent is the same.
that might be true, but
maybe his vocabulary got better, but not his accent. To me,
I think a true test would be if he says California, then and versus now. I mean, it's like 7 words when he says it now.
Right.
But
California.
And actually, to correct what I just said, Terminator came out after Conan the Destroyer. Same year, but it came out after. Okay. He actually had about 4 million more words of dialogue in this movie than he did in the Terminator. And in the Terminator, he had 12 lines.
I think Terminator was perfect for him. He didn't have to talk.
Yep.
It was quiet. Yeah. You're just a silent killer.
Exactly.
Anyway, so in the movie, obviously we covered Will Chamberlain. That was kind of silly. I thought at the beginning of the movie. At the end of the movie, my opinion had changed slightly. But in the opening sequence, there was, obviously, and throughout the whole movie, there was decorative horse tack or horse clothing for people that don't know what tack is. I've owned and ridden, but have you guys ever had horses or at least ridden horses?
I say no to both.
Yeah, I don't own, but I've ridden a couple of times. I'll tell you too. Watching that opening sequence, I went back and I started to remember the director on this, and Richard Fleischer was the director on this one and the original. But I don't know if you guys realize, but I mean, this dude's got a freaking filmography. He did The Jazz Singer. He did Tora Tora Tora. He did, I don't know, Anthony, you might be old enough to remember. You remember watching Fantastic Voyage in school about the scientists that get shrunken down in the little ship and get injected into a person to go fix like a blood clot in their brain?
Oh, that's damn, what's the name of that movie?
Yeah, it's called Fantastic Voyage.
No, that's Inner Space.
Oh, no, you're thinking the other one with
I know.
Yeah. There was a Futurama episode about that.
Yeah, but I don't know. I watched that opening sequence and I was like, this is like the directorial version of Paint by Numbers. And then I went back and I'm like, dude, this guy has some chops. I mean, this wasn't a guy that was like on this second film.
Yeah, he didn't need the money. Man, I'm just looking at his his filmography here.
His discography?
Yeah, I was thinking 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and then Dr. Dolittle, the original.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like you said, Tora. Wow. Soylent Green.
I mean, this movie period is filled with like people that have been in like they've had long careers. Like Miko, Akira the Wizard.
Yeah, Michael.
He's been like in everything. He's never been like the main character or anything, but he's been in so many things, man.
Yeah, he's my favorite voice actor from the Avatar series that was on Nickelodeon.
Yeah, the Last Airbender, right?
Uncle Iroh.
Yeah, and the other guy, Tracy Walter, did he give you a little which was a sidekick, Arnold's sidekick?
Yeah.
Did he give you a little Stan Laurel effect? A little bit of Stan Laurel in him from Lauren Hardy. He looked like him. I wanted him to go like this with his hair.
Yeah,
he actually did. He was really good in this movie.
Yeah, he's played like every little sleazy like low-life kind of guy you could think of in every film that he's been in.
Yeah, he definitely was a quirky little he was basically the exact opposite. You know, the scared little, I'm gonna hide.
Right, right.
You know, as noble as a thief can be, the exact opposite. You know.
And interesting enough, he was in he did some voiceover work for 50 Cent Bulletproof, the video game.
Oh yeah, I was in that.
I was too. I didn't see you there.
So, you know, the opening sequence, I just thought that was, you know, it was kind of funny. I mean, I understand the whole lore behind Conan, but I just found it funny.
I mean, I thought it was, I cracked up.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the dialogue is the same from the first film, but like I said, that whole opening, like, you know, horse riding across open plain, it was like that is got to be the, like, that was shot last at the zero end of the budget. You know, they're like, what could we do to get this opening done on like nothing? You know, $10.
Right. I mean, it cracked me up because it was just like, it seemed like everything was in slow motion.
Yeah.
You know, like Arnold was swinging all slow, and then they had like the they kept on doing close-ups of him with the sword and stabbing.
Yes.
I don't know if you noticed that. Like, he kept on. I mean, I was like, what is he stabbing? What's happening? You know?
it's like frontal camera stab, and hope there's like a foam block or something in front of it. You know.
Yep. Sean's back.
Hey, how's it going? Hey.
we lost Sean for a second, just in case you were wondering where he went.
I didn't go anywhere. I'm still here.
But he's back.
So, I'm sorry. What were you guys talking about? I was playing.
Well, we were talking about the opening scene and how, like, just funny it was. Like, just right from the beginning, you know, it was just funny. Like, what's going on here, and how slow the action was.
Oh, it was painfully
really, really slow.
There was a lot of action, but it was slow.
Well, right. and that's the point where you realize too that this one they went for the PG rating on, because you see, you know, there's no blood, everything's all, you know, all the slashes are off screen. So
I mean, there were some moments.
A couple.
Yeah, toward the end.
I mean, even in that, I think in that first scene, was that when he cut the guy's head off? Was that?
Yeah, but I don't think they cut it off, and then they panned to behind the horse, and it was the guy's head rolling down the back of the horse.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was implied, but it was no different than in Reservoir Dogs, where he cuts the guy's ear off screen.
Yeah.
Right. And then you just see the ear.
Yeah.
And then you see Malak. He's swallowing like gems. Which when it's time for him to go to the bathroom, it's really gonna hurt, because he was swallowing rocks the whole movie.
Well, swallowing glass, that'll cut your intestines up. Essentially, that's what gems are. It's like swallowing a shiv.
Right.
I don't make a hobby of that.
Well, those are fake. I don't know if you knew that.
It's dedication, man. It's dedication to his craft, you know?
I'm pretty sure he didn't swallow them either.
Well, they were smoothed out, too, in his defense.
Well, on purpose, yeah.
That's right.
So
he can swallow them for real.
So after the first scene, and they're walking through town, we see the camel, and the camel spits on him, and he just smacks the camel on the head.
You know what I wrote down about the camel? I put badass camel. I mean camel, excuse me, because he had already previously punched the camel.
Oh yeah.
In the face and knocked him down, and then the camel spit on him. I was like, man, that's badass.
Well, didn't the camel spit on him first?
No. Well, he punched the camel in the beginning of the movie, didn't he?
No. He punched the dude's horse in the opening scene.
Okay.
The camel is actually a holdover from the first one, because he punched the camel. It's supposed to be like the same camel. Because he punched him. That's why he started apologizing to the camel when it spit on him.
Okay, now it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
He gave him a nice
holdover.
He gave him a nice whomp on the head.
Yeah, that camel just tumbled. That was kind of entertaining. I noticed when we first meet Princess Jenna, first of all, she's got a normal name, unlike Queen Taramis.
Right.
You know, even though it's spelled kind of funny with an H in there. Did you notice her bed linens? How they were so fancy? and modern looking?
I didn't, but I did notice that she was hot.
Okay.
That was Olivia D'Abo, man.
Yep.
Sorry.
She was 15 when the movie came out.
That's okay, because I was younger than that. So it wouldn't have been weird.
It wouldn't have been weird at the time.
I'll tell you the thing I noticed was I didn't notice the bed linens, but I wondered how they got the wall behind her to be backlit because it's got this nice little soft blue glow to it.
Uplighting, baby.
Yeah.
They've got uplighting in the castle.
You got to think outside the box.
Right. You know what I thought when I first saw the princess? I was like, and I know I'm right now. I was like, is that the girl from the whole 9 yards? And it is her, the one that was married to Ross. Whatever. I mean, not Ross. The hell's like?
No. You're
that was Amanda
Arquette.
Huh?
Was that Amanda Peet or Rosanna Arquette?
Oh, Rosanna Arquette. No, that's not her.
Yeah, no. You're thinking Olivia D'Abo. She was the sister on the Wonder Years. She was the older sister on the Wonder Years.
I didn't know that.
Oh wow, she was.
Yeah.
But she's been in other stuff. I'm gonna check. You guys know.
Yeah, she's been in other stuff. She was she was in.
I've seen her before, right?
She was in. What was she in? She was in the first Bond flick that Timothy Dalton did. God, I can't remember the name of it. I've struck those movies from my memory that are so bad, the Dalton ones.
What the hell's her name? Oh, there it is.
Olivia D'Abo.
I got it. Oh, she's hot now, too, dude. She's still hot. Holy shite.
She does a lot of TV work. TV and VA.
Yeah. But I feel like I've seen her in movies. She's done a lot of DC stuff. Jeez, she's in the Clone Wars, too.
She was on Party of Five for a couple episodes. Batman Beyond the movie, which was a cartoon, I think.
Yeah, it was.
Let's see here.
Spin City.
I'm back here. Mortal Kombat: Defenders of the Realm. Boy, nobody saw that.
You know, I don't know what I would have seen with her because I don't recognize any of these movies. I do remember from Wonder Years. Now that you mention it.
Wayne's World 2.
Oh, that's where I know her from. No, it's not.
No.
there's. I guess not. I guess not.
Yeah, she just looks like somebody you'd recognize.
She looks like Rosanna Arquette to me, I guess. I don't know.
A little bit. You know who she looks like?
No, I've seen her on TV. I must have seen her on TV.
You know who she looks like is a young, more attractive Gina Davis.
She does resemble her a little bit. You're right.
I was going to say she looks a little like Rebecca De Mornay, too.
A little bit, yeah.
I gotta remember who Rebecca De Mornay is.
Hand that rocks the cradle.
Thank you. That's enough said. It's like Rebecca De Mornay and Gina Davis had a baby.
I was in that movie. I was the hand.
Were you the hand? Were you? Yeah. You were. Stop rocking the cradle.
It was a tough part.
I was the cradle. All right.
So then we meet Akiro, the wizard. Mm-hmm. We meet him. He's on a spit. So have you ever been on a spit or attempted to be roasted?
I tried, but it didn't work. It didn't take.
No. It seemed like it would take a lot of body strength to be held on there.
To be held on there?
To hold so that you, well,
he was tied on there.
Discuss the physics of to a point. He is like his booty was hanging down. It
was a bad tie job.
I guess.
Yeah, I'm like 6'4" and about 350 pounds. I'm far too big to be on a spit. The physics of that would not work well.
It would just throw you on the fire.
Pretty much.
Now.
So.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to continue on.
Well, you were mentioning the queen. Mm-hmm. She looked a little bit like Evelyn to me, from He-Man.
I think that might be the same actress, actually.
No. Well, not from Masters of the Universe. That was Meg Foster.
Oh, you're talking about from the cartoon.
I'm talking about from the cartoon.
Especially in the opening with the.
She had the same crown thing. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
She looked just like Evelyn.
Dude, she could have played Skeletor. Looking at her current picture.
I want to know how big of a budget they had for people to design face masks for that movie, because like everybody and their dog had some kind of like ornate face mask on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh wow, she does look like Skeletor.
Man, she gets.
Oh my God! I just recognized where I know her from.
Who?
She was in Superman 2.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Oh, that's right. She played.
She was Zod's girl.
Yeah. Yeah, God, what was her name? What was the character's name? I can't remember.
I have no idea, but you were Bob before Zod. I remember that.
So the movie had a budget of 18 million. It made 31 million. 18 million in 1984.
That was a pretty good chunk.
That's huge.
First one had a budget of 20.
For some reason, I thought they could. Well, they made, they made their budget and then some. So
yeah,
that extra 2 million should have gone to the opening.
hey, Drew. Her name was Ursa.
Ursa, there you go.
Yeah. All right, just had to throw that in there.
So when we meet Zula, did you think that her rescue, whatever, was kind of anticlimactic? It's like, you must save her. Mosey on over, cuts her free, and then she just takes out a whole tribe of warriors.
Yeah, like how did she get into that position in the first place, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
When I first saw her, I said, when did Wesley Snipes get into this film?
I thought the same thing.
So what the hell is Wesley Snipes doing in here? Oh my God, she was chocolatey all over.
She had some. She almost had Kid and Play hair. With that eraser head.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. She had a little blonde in there. Oh no, it was red. Whatever the hell it was.
Yeah, but he had the eraser head. It was like it was like off screen. That's how big it was.
Yeah, it was weird. Her character was annoying. It's just the faces that she makes, and
they were scary.
And I'm one that thinks that she. Why is she a model? Because I don't think she's attractive at all.
Mm-mm.
I mean, somebody likes her, whatever. That's cool, but not me. I think she's atrocious, and she looks the same. If you go on IMDb, she looks exactly the same.
Think about it too. Part of it is, think of the time too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she really kind of typified the '80s. That high flash, very little substance, and that just kind of anything goes out there look. She very much kind of typified the '80s.
Yeah, well, she. I don't know.
My only thought on that scene was why did all those people just stand there as she was whacking them in the face with a pole? I'm thinking some people would be filtering out from the back at the very least.
Well, that's the whole movie.
Yeah.
During the whole movie, they're doing that.
It's like stand and wait your turn.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much.
And they're like waiting, and then they come running and get hit.
Yeah.
And she knocks like 3 of them down at the same time.
It's like any kung fu movie. You got to stand and wait your turn to get your butt kicked.
That's right. 1-on-1, baby. That's what I'm talking about. A lot of this was you could tell Arnold was overdubbed a lot.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
You can tell. So was Wilt. There was a scene in there. I don't know if you caught it. I rewound it a couple of times to see if it was something wrong with the streaming. There was a scene in there where
the trap behind the mirror.
No. When they got to Grace Jones, they were on the horse, and what's his name? Wilt said, "Thieves deserve to hang."
Mm-hmm.
And it was like a little bit of a kung fu flick effect because he said it and then his lip kept on moving.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, overdub.
Yeah, there was a lot of that in this movie.
Yeah, they had a lot of dialogue cleanup on that one.
And you know what else? This happened before that part. Was when I think Wilt tried to rape the princess. Let me tell you why. Remember when she woke up and she was having that dream?
Oh yeah.
And he was like in the room and he was like, "It's okay, it was only a dream. It was only a dream." Like, what the hell was Wilt doing to her?
The man had a reputation to uphold, man.
The irony.
Yeah,
the irony of
I wonder
his
if
character.
she's one of his 1,000.
The irony of his character: man that claims to sleep with over 20,000 women, and he has to protect the virginity of a girl.
That's right. It was only a dream. Yeah,
it's okay. Right. Don't tell anybody. It was a dream.
That's right. It's only a dream.
So
I wonder how many horses Arnold went through too, because he's a big dude, man. He's a solid big dude, and I was looking at him like, man, how's that horse even carrying this guy?
Well, you know what? There's with a lot of horses. I mean, the bigger the horse, the more awkward it can be, especially if the horse is longer from front to back. Because then it has a sway back.
It bends, right?
Yeah, it'll have more of a sway back, which is not good for the posture. Shorter coupled horses are where their legs are closer together, front and back, and lighter horses can actually accommodate heavier people better.
Oh, wow.
It's a very strange misconception, but that's the way it is. I mean, my horse that I had was about 800 pounds, and I'm about 200 pounds. So I mean, it's a good ratio, but
Sure.
there's like my daughter had a horse. It was about 300 pounds. It was a mini.
Okay.
It was like a micro machine horse. I mean, she was about 40 pounds at the time, but
You're supposed to say that really fast.
it was a mini.
No, it was a micro machine.
Oh yeah.
Come on, dude. Get the program. Well,
So
not all of us are millionaires and have horses.
dude,
So-
I was broke as a joke when I had horses. Are you kidding? I was figuring out it cost about $1,200. We had about 4 or 5 horses at the time. It was like $12,000 to $1,200 a month
Oh my god.
for room and board for the horses. They were expensive.
Jeez.
I know my only times I've been on a horse, I live out in the country, and some people that own some land, they got a horse barn a couple miles down, and one of the cowboys decided to give me a riding lesson because I'm from the Northeast, man. I don't do that stuff, and got on the horse, and within 5 minutes, almost had it turn over on top of me,
Yikes.
and it was like, yep, that's enough for me, thanks. Pleasant experience, but I'm done.
Well, I'm from the Northeast too, and that's where I had my horses in Pennsylvania, where it was nice and cold.
Yeah, I'm from Detroit originally, so we don't
Yeah.
not a lot of horse riding there.
There's no horses in Detroit.
No,
Can't do a drive-by on a horse.
nope, they've all moved out.
Sorry, you can't. How do you think Cowboys did it?
I think it was it's true.
Good point, right?
True. So so
Technically be a ride by.
Right by.
so I love the scene where we first see the Emerald Castle, which to me looked like the whatever it was called from Wizard of Oz. But then we see this pink energy, a bird of smoke, as the wizard called it. The CGI, man, that was something else.
That
yeah.
animation
Oh, yeah, he turned into a
reminded me of, like
cartoon.
watching heavy metal.
What's that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was like watching heavy metal, It was that animation.
It was something.
Yeah, I was like, look at that. The wizard turned into a cartoon. Awesome.
Well, and then the CGI in the next scene where he's rowing the boat, like you could tell that they were just behind a green screen.
Right.
Oh yeah, that was superimposed like crazy.
And he had this look on his face too, like, yes, we'll row the boat.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you know what's funny about that castle? It was small.
You think?
Like when you're looking when they're looking at the castle from the shore,
Mm-hmm.
the castle was tiny. If you watch it again, which you won't, but our listeners, if they're gonna watch it after we talk about it, take a look at the castle. It's really small, and then I guess it's bigger on the inside than it is on the outside.
Maybe it goes underground.
Maybe.
So, complete this sentence, Drew. You and then Anthony. That the winding staircase inside the castle. The winding staircase inside the Emerald Castle was.
Like probably about 5 feet in length. They kept going around on.
Yeah. How would you describe it?
How would I describe it?
Well, what would you call? If you walk in, you see this winding staircase. What would you say? Like that staircase is.
It goes to heaven.
What about you, Anthony?
Mine would be that staircase is not memorable because I don't remember a winding staircase. It can't be too memorable.
I thought it was pretty awesome. That's all. I'm a simple man.
Oh, was that the right answer?
No, there's no right answer. I was just like, wow, like look at that. Like, I want to go around that.
Oh no, I don't
And
even
then
remember
take a
the winding
nap.
steps.
I hope there's a sleeping bag at the top because I need a nap after.
I remember Malik almost fell, and they had to get like pulled up again, like the third time in the film. But that's about all I remember of that scene.
It was very throwaway. I mean, they could have cut it out, but it was pretty cool. So
I think I threw it away in my mind.
yeah, apparently already, like an hour later.
It's true. Well, I watched
So-
some of it last night, some of it today.
Yeah. How many stones did Arnold move? Because he just moved that one slab. He's just like "Rrrr," to get in right before the man-ape scene.
Yeah, you know what? at what point are they going to start off with two people doing it? You know, because every time Arnold would just go and lift stuff, and then here comes Wilt the Stilt, whatever, and then he helps him. Why don't you help him from the beginning, you lazy bastard?
Well, I thought that was funny. Like, he just pushes that slab out of the way, and then eventually they make their way to the land of mirrors. And after that, then he helps him break into the wherever they were.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about now. That big rock that looked like he was gonna push it up from his stance. It looked like he was gonna push it up, but it actually went this way.
It forward.
It went forward. Yeah, I was like, what the hell? That kind of confused me a little bit. I'm like, where is that going?
Yeah, it was strange, but I have to say, the Man-Ape assembly sequence, where they all came out from the mirrors, and then like they walked like in a circle from both directions
around them.
Yeah, and they reassembled into one. That was pretty cool. I give that runner-up for a Retro Action Sequence Award of 1984.
That was state of the art back then, man.
Yeah, it was.
You know what's pretty cool is that the wizard's costume looked like he got it from Party City. Did you notice that? It was like that long vinyl cape that you get that with like any vampire costume at Party City.
You know what it was? It was a poncho that they cut in half. They cut down the front. He's got to go to the football game afterwards.
I don't know, but I was like, that is a badass Party City costume. I know I can get that. And then when he came out with that face, I was like, oh, I didn't even remember that part.
He looked like Van Gogh, that painting by Van Gogh, where he's got like a jacked up eye. You know what I'm talking about? Where he's got the paint. Is it a painting of Van Gogh?
I don't know what you're talking about, but it sounds funny to me.
I'm not cultured, so I don't know what
you're talking about.
It's a dude sitting there in like a shirt and tie, and he's got red hair slicked back, and
it's a self-portrait.
Yeah, and he's just got like the character guy. He's just got that jacked up eyes. He's like the guy from Scary Movie 2. Grab my hand, grab my hand. Only he's got a jacked up eye.
My strong hand.
It's such a bad movie.
Actually, I actually enjoyed that one. That was a good movie. But the monster face that came out.
Man-Ape.
As soon as I saw the face.
Oh, the wizard.
I said to myself, if Bad Breath had a face, that's what it would look like.
You know what? I thought that was Rip Torn because he had just done the Beastmaster 2 years before, and I was like, what is Rip Torn doing in this movie? And I looked it up, and I'm like, who is it? Because I don't know who it is. And it wasn't Rip Torn.
Rip Torn, who had a great name, by the way.
That's not his real name, but
yeah, I know, but it's his name now.
That's okay. Like, I can't think of anything funnier than Rip Torn right now. It's like Small Little, or Little Smalls. That's my name.
You
Little
mean
Smalls.
Biggie Smalls?
Nah, Little Smalls. He's my distant cousin. Don't you see the family resemblance?
Or Tiny Tall. There you go.
Tall. Stretch Slim.
All right, we can do this forever.
Back to these stupid names. So he beats Man-Ape. And like you said, Bad Breath face comes out. The castle starts to fall. Out! You hear that awesome Arnold one-liner. Out, in, left, right. Get to the chopper. Get to the boat.
California.
No, it's California.
California. Who's your daddy? What does he do?
Yeah, it's not an Arnold movie without that nice guttural something or another that comes out of his mouth.
Oh man, it's such an awful. Like, there's that audio clip somewhere. It's got like all those strung together, and most of them I think is actually from Last Action Hero, where he had like an audio reel where he would just be like wow, 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 and that's we're gonna cut that part out later because it sounded horrible. But it's just like a whole bunch of like Arnold fight noises like intermixed, looped together.
Awesome.
So, what's that?
That's it. And any of those Arnold noises, like when with the Man-Ape scene when he was getting like racked up by the Man-Ape, any of that. It's like, oh man, how do you write that dialogue? You know, it's got to be improvised. You know?
Oh, that man-ape was whooping his ass too.
He looked like a fish more than he did an ape.
He did.
I'll tell you the thing on that scene too is like right at the end when it's like you got two mirrors, and you know the whole group is like going, no, don't turn around. I'm like, dude, step to the sides or something. You know, like, you can probably get out of the way of that thing.
Yeah. Right. But then Arnold throws it through the other mirror, and here they come crashing through the mirror. Why didn't you do that in the first place to help him?
Well, I would assume since the wizard died, you know, the magic falls apart, you know?
Oh, jeez.
Dude, that's how it works.
Well, and the funny part, too, is that...
that's how magic works.
The funny part, too, is that Wilt tried to push the mirror, not smash it. Did you notice that?
Yeah, and you need two people to push it.
Oh,
got a perfectly serviceable mace sitting right there and just, you know?
Yeah, you got to push it up so it goes forward.
That's right.
So... Here's where the twist happens, at least the first twist. After they get the Hope Diamond, the elite guard, not to be confused with the elite Republican guard from the first Gulf War, the elite guard attacks and kidnaps the princess, and then a sword fight ensues. And so here's my question. Are either of you any good with handheld weapons?
Oh, man. I am a nunchuckist.
Nunchuckist.
No, not really.
How about you, Drew?
No, I'm terrible with weaponry. Period. Handheld or otherwise.
I'll tell you what, and I'll give you a twofer here. I'm good with paper towel tube.
A who?
Paper towel tube. Actually, this is a gift wrap tube, and also here's my best Arnold pose.
You're born to be a LARPer, dude.
Born to be a leper is what I am. So, and then we get once Conan beats everybody, we go to the campfire.
Once we beat it, all right.
Again,
I'll tell you,
again we beat it. Damn it.
The tail end of that fight scene though with the Imperial Guard. The last guy he fights, there's actually like that kind of protracted, fight segment. The actor that did that was actually a guy named Sven Ole Thorson, who played Thorgrim, who was in the first one, which is the guy that had like the giant wooden hammer. But they gave him like a jaw piece to cover most of his face, so people wouldn't recognize him. But he actually was in both movies.
His claim to fame.
There you go. Oh, he was in a bunch of stuff. He played the security guard, like Killian's security guard in Running Man. Same actor. He did a bunch of Arnold stuff along the way. It was always small roles, but he did a bunch of stuff of the 80s and early 90s Arnold films.
Yeah, he looks like he did, a lot. Did Gladiator. He played Thug in End of Days.
Thug, which was another Arnold movie.
No, that's his character. That's his character's name.
No, I know.
But
I'm just saying.
End of Days, yeah.
End of Days is it.
Yeah, he was in Yeah, that's right. He was the first gladiator that Maximus fought, and the one with the big face mask. Yeah, that's right. That was him. He's a big dude.
Wasn't Rip Torn in that? No, never mind.
No, here's his claim to fame. Oh, he was also in Eraser. He played Russian gunman. He was in George of the Jungle. Who can forget that instant classic? Enshrined in the Library of Congress forever.
Ugh.
Oh, Brendan Fraser had a career at some point, and that's what happened.
Yeah, woof. So we're back at the campfire, and Conan, he's drunk. He just go home, Conan. You are drunk. And then we get dating advice from Zula.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was drunk. That was pretty funny.
Which quite possibly one of the worst acted drunks ever, in my opinion.
Well, you know what? They actually
kind of drink a lot if you're that big.
Well, supposedly they in the trivia. I read this in the trivia. They because it was cold there, instead of using the water-based blood, they actually used vodka. Instead of it was like a vodka-based blood thing or whatever. so they can stay warm, and they were actually drinking on the set.
But yeah, I'll say the special effects wagon must have been getting raided constantly.
Need more blood. Need more blood.
Dude, you got to think about it. That's like an easy squeeze packet right there, too. You know.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly.
That is
quick
true.
Shot.
So after Princess Jenna gets her dating advice from Zula, which was hilarious, Malik gives us the birds and the bees.
Mm-hmm.
So since we're all adults, how'd it go with your parents with the birds and the bees?
My mother never. She just told me wrap it up. That's about it.
As in, hurry up and get done.
That was exactly. Hurry up, kid.
I don't know, man. My parents were kind of hippies. I got driven over to Planned Parenthood and
Nice.
and had a conversation set up with a doctor.
Oh wow.
But,
maybe I should do that. That's a good idea.
Yeah, my parents were kind of forward on that stuff, but
because I really need that conversation.
yeah, I'm not looking forward to doing that with my own kids. It would be vastly different.
Well, I have a 13-year-old, so I need to do that pronto.
Go get him. I'll tell him all about it.
I'll bring him over and I'll have him watch Conan the Destroyer so they can
just play it.
So he can get that advice.
Yeah, just play Malik's piece right there, and you're done. All right, there you go. Go off, kid. Go off into the world.
Get out of here. Yeah, I haven't done that with mine yet. Mine's only 8, so.
Yours is 8. Yeah, she doesn't even like boys.
Yeah.
Or girls. Sorry.
Boys. So then we get to the opening the door of the temple where, Wilt finally chimes in. Oh, here, let me help you out.
Mm-hmm.
They make their way through the temple, which I thought was pretty cool. It was like Cobweb Castle.
Mm-hmm.
But then we have the fight with the old dude and his army of peaceful warriors.
Mm-hmm.
But then I think the action sequence, the retro action sequence award of 1984 goes to once they escape into the back tunnel where it's Arnold and Wilt fighting an entire army, and there was more blood in this one, and they were just slaughtering them.
Yeah, and then we had a lot of those close-ups again of Arnold stabbing people. The face cam, and him going, "Yeah!"
I made so many awkward faces.
Yeah,
I just want to get a set of those little pingy bracelets that the wizard wore.
Oh yes,
kind of gets into be great to get the kids' attention. Ping, ping.
I agree.
But yeah, I thought the same thing. It's like sooner or later these guys will figure out that if they attack all at once, it might be a little more effective.
You think that? That's not how movies work.
Apparently, that guy borrowed Wonder Woman's bracelets.
Yeah, he just painted them silver.
Exactly. Now we kind of glazed past the part when she went into the fire and grabbed the horn.
Oh yeah, that part was kind of important to the movie.
Now this is something that happens in all the movies when something like this is going on. Why do they walk so slow through the fire? Just fucking go. Oh, excuse me. Just effing go.
Go home. You're drunk.
But you know what I mean? Just go. Go walk regular. You weren't walking slow through the whole movie, but now when it's a little bit of fire, now you want to walk slow through fire?
That fire was CGI, wasn't it?
Yeah, it definitely was. But I mean, why would you walk slow through fire? What if whatever that magic is runs out?
Dramatic effect, maybe?
Yeah, it's dumb.
I'm thinking it might be a plot point. You have no understanding of how these whole magical, trance-like moments happen in these films, man.
Right.
Because you got to have at least 3 minutes of screen time for that.
Oh yeah, easy.
Well, the movie was an hour and 41, so they had plenty of time before they got to 2 hours.
I wish it was a minute and 41.
So, then we have our wizard battle. That was I thought that was pretty brief.
It was.
That could have been longer.
I mean, after watching the wizard battle in Big Trouble in Little China, this wizard battle was nothing.
No, it was like I don't know what it was, but it wasn't that good.
Yeah, that's like the scriptwriters decided they had to give Michael a little bit of face time on the movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because that was one of the brief moments where you actually saw him do something other than mutter to himself and point with his fingers.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, how about the time when he lit the torch? That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Same scene, basically.
Yeah, more or less. So, you know, we have the escape of Jenna and I'm just going to call him Wilt from now on. The dude. So, Bombada. Anyway.
Bombada!
So the two of them, you know, they run ahead. He knocks, you know, he betrays them. He knocks down all that rock. They get to stepping. They get on their horse literally and get out of town. Arnold, the ever warrior, perseveres. You know, crawls through a wormhole, gets out, and then they sneak in the back door. I love how he bends the bars. Just like, oh, I'm just gonna do this.
Now, why do they always bend it like this? Why not grab one end, bend it, and then grab the other one and bend it this way? You know what I mean?
Because
more force.
If you're like this, you have leverage one way or the other. Whereas if you bend it like this, it's not natural.
But what if one is weaker than the other one and it bends first? Then you're kind of stuck, right?
I don't know. Sure.
Okay, good.
I'm with Sean I'm with Anthony on this one, dude. You grab one and you put your legs against the wall and crank, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I think if you have him on speed dial, Anthony, get Neil deGrasse Tyson in here. He can explain it all to us.
I'll work on that.
There you go. Next week, maybe he can explain to us then. We'll hold that over till next week.
Okay. Tune in next week where I'll have Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson.
On the line.
So, did you see the dress that Queen Tyrannus was wearing, the one that looked like a falcon?
No, I didn't. I don't remember that one.
It was right after they get back with the horn of the dude.
The dude playing another dude?
No.
Yeah, that was the one that had the strategically placed wing spread.
Yeah. That was. You go back and check that out, Anthony.
I will never go back and check that out.
There's got to be a still of it somewhere on Google, I'm sure.
Oh no, it's the internet. They don't put stuff like that on the internet.
No, why would they do that?
No.
None of it.
No. So what happens then? Oh, my favorite part. Like it's so ridiculous. These guards have to be the dumbest guards ever. The ones that are in the temple.
I know what you're talking about.
They throw a rock,
the rock toss,
and they're like, "What happened? Oh, nothing over here. Let's look over here, up in the air." And then they sneak into this little corner behind them, and then they attack him once Arnold shows himself, and they sprint right past him, and they're like, "Ah!"
Arnold was kind of funny though. Aha!
he popped out like it was a cake, man. Hello.
He actually had a smile on his face too.
Hey guys!
And what's funny about that is that when the two guards heard the rock, it was like synchronized confusion. They both looked the same way, it's like, to the right, up, and down.
It's like the original Metal Gear Solid for PlayStation.
Pretty much.
Oh my god!
I just use a box.
The box moved, but I don't.
Man, you took me back.
Well, what about the guard that got whacked upside the head with the torch?
Oh man!
Like I was there watching. I'm like, first off, all the guards' helmets have masks on. That's got to make it hard for like roster check.
It's like Lando Calrissian.
Pretty much. But yeah, then the guy that got whacked over the head with a torch, it's like that had to have hurt.
Yeah,
it probably didn't feel good.
It's like exploding head action.
Yep.
Exploding head.
So, so then we get to the main chamber, and Zula throws a spear, like I don't know how far, and just spot on right through the dude's chest.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Wesley Snipes throws a strike right down the middle.
Thank you, because I forgot who Zula was.
So, question here: have you ever thrown something that had that good of accuracy or that good of results?
I've thrown rocks at people before.
Did they look in the air like they were confused?
With only when they were with somebody else, then they both did it at the same time.
Oh yeah, that's a prerequisite. How about you, Drew? Anything that accurate?
Not never intentionally. I remember getting into a fight with my older brother when I was younger and chunked a shoe at his head, and it would have hit his head if he hadn't moved, and it went right through a window. But that's about as good as it was.
It's like Eddie Murphy with his mom. I'll throw a shoe at you.
That's right.
As like I said, man, I have no skill with weaponry at all. None.
I threw a frisbee through a window one time. I threw the frisbee this way. The window was over here.
That's impressive.
It was not on
do it
purpose.
again, right?
No. No.
Yeah, remind me
guys
never to golf with you.
Yeah, right. Slice. Did you guys see the sweet spin move that Arnold kept on having, like during fights? He would do this nice spin move and catch the guy.
Did you see
with a sword?
How about the part where he would spin the sword and it would go? He would spin it behind his back.
He only did that one time, though, right?
Okay. There's a couple in there.
Yeah. Pay attention.
Well,
I think there was only one.
It must have been. Yeah, so I think so too.
I just wanted to say something too.
The fight, dude. The fight between Wilt and Arnold, the showdown.
Oh, yeah.
You know that was pretty corny, if you ask me.
It was probably the best fight scene of the whole movie, though.
which is saying a lot.
It was the payoff.
Well,
It definitely was a payoff, and we had a little Mike Tyson action there too.
I saw that.
Yep,
She was-
the ear bite.
He ripped his ear, and by some miracle,
It didn't come off.
at the end of the movie, the ear was fine.
Yeah. Well, did he rip it off, or was it just bloody?
It was really bloody, so either way, his ear should have been jacked up at least.
It was just a flesh wound.
Yeah. It takes 5 pounds of pressure to remove an ear.
Especially Arnold's.
Yeah. His ears. He probably has exercises for his ears. So, how about the monster battle scene at the end?
That monster was terrible.
The the suckerfish moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looked like a pile of mud with teeth.
And you know that those hands, there was like some 60-year-old like stagehand that had the hands on, on the other side, just off frame.
Right, it was like two guys. One guy had one arm, the other guy had the other arm.
Got them on sticks,
It was bad.
Yeah, it was terrible. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
It's Conan. It's the 80s.
Yeah. But at the end, once Conan saves the day,
Mm-hmm.
She wants him to rule with him.
And he says, "I'm out."
He says no, and she's sad.
And she cried.
He has to walk his own road.
And then in the end, he's sad. But that is another story.
That is another story.
See what I did there?
Which did that story ever come out?
No.
Dude, they have tossed around Conan the King for about, I think, 15 years now, because Robert Howard actually wrote stories, some of the stories of the older Conan, but they've tossed that around a bazillion times, and it has just never gotten off the ground.
Mm-hmm. You need to make that happen, especially with today's, special effects and stuff. I mean, obviously Arnold wouldn't be in it.
Well, I don't know if it's anything like the CG Arnold that was in Terminator Salvation. I'll pass.
Well, if it's about an older Conan,
yeah,
I mean, I guess
he's the right age.
That could work, yeah.
Yeah,
it'll be Prince Conan or something.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the story that they wrote was he basically became a gladiator in this huge kingdom, usurped the throne, and ruled like the biggest kingdom of that era, and had a couple kids.
Mm.
But,
see, they could do something with that.
Yeah, if they're going to do it, they're going to do it quick, man. He's getting old, and it's starting to show too.
It's not starting to. It's been.
So I think that's about it, man. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think that's the movie. I mean,
yeah, I think I'm never going back to watch that one again unless it's under duress. I will say the music, though. I mean, Basil Polidorus does a great soundtrack. The music tracks were great.
But the sound effects were strange.
The sound effects were horrible.
They were like little weird sound effects pop up here and there.
Yeah, it does. Did you catch that one moment? There was one scene in the fight between Bombada and Conan. It's like the only part in the movie where you see like sparks fly off of the sword.
Mm-hmm.
That was like the one time.
Just no, there were sparks during the horseback.
During the horse sequence?
Yeah.
Oh, were there?
But I think
you guys ever seen,
once or twice.
Have you guys ever seen Sword Spark?
I have not. I've been to a couple of Renaissance festivals, and
yeah, that's basically where I've seen it. That's where I've seen it. I've seen it at medieval times.
Yep.
They really go hard at medieval times. I was surprised when I first went there.
I think that's going to be relegated to the Highlander franchise.
Yeah, but they could only be one.
Yep.
That's a true story.
Except they made, what, how many of those? 6?
Yeah, exactly.
If only they took their own advice.
They can only be one original. That's what they meant. They can only be one part one.
Yeah. Isn't that the case? Isn't that the truth? But there's 2 Conan the Barbarians.
There are.
Yep.
Snap.
And one is from freaking wherever the hell Arnold's from, and one is from where the hell Momoa is from. Was he Samoan or something?
Southern California.
He's from California?
I don't know.
But what is he, though? He's Samoan, right?
Yeah, he's Samoan. I think he's actually related. I don't know. I might double check. I think he's actually related to The Rock.
All right, Drew. Not every Samoan is related to The
I'm
Rock.
not serious, man. I think he's actually related to Dwayne Johnson in a roundabout fashion.
You know what's funny?
I wouldn't be surprised. They're both freaking huge.
You know what's funny? The Conan the Destroyer, and this kind of goes into what we're talking about next here. Conan the Destroyer on IMDb is 5.6 out of 10. Mm-hmm. Conan the Barbarian, the remake, is 5.2 out of 10.
Wow.
Almost the same. Almost the same.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I know. Every time they've talked about rebooting the Conan franchise, speaking of wrestlers, I think Triple H.
Oh God.
Was at one point in the running to be in the film. But I think The Rock actually got approached because I think Momoa was their second choice. I think the Rock was originally approached by it, and he declined, which I think was a smart move on his part.
Yeah. Well, I think so too, because I mean, you look at it and you have somebody who's instantly recognizable.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Christopher Reeves originally with Superman. Mm-hmm. You want that unknown or that relative unknown.
Yeah.
I mean,
go ahead. I think at the time that Momoa did the remake, Game of Thrones had just gotten started, but I think his most prevalent work was that Stargate one that he did.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought he was a good choice. It's just that the movie wasn't that great.
No, the script on that was horrible.
Yeah, I thought he was good. I mean, he was, agile and all that stuff. It wasn't bad. And obviously he had some training from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, and Rose McGowan was horrible in that movie.
Yeah.
Wow. Think about Grindhouse.
Well, Rotten Tomatoes has it at the critics give it 33%, and the audience gives it 43%. So it's not even halfway there.
Conan the Destroyer or Conan the Barbarian?
The Destroyer.
Okay.
I said Conan the Barbarian.
No. I just wanted to clarify because we were just talking about the remake.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it's 33 and 43.
Yeah. So.
No, Conan the Barbarian was even worse. The newer one.
Oh yeah.
24% critics and 31% audience.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
So I guess for Conan the Destroyer, 1984. Drew, going by our Crossing Streamz rating scale, 1 being you won't watch it again, 5 being you will immediately watch it after you watch it the first time. What would you rate this movie?
I would say it's going to be a very forced 3 because if somebody hasn't seen it, I would watch it. I would watch it with them, maybe if it was a good friend. So yeah, a qualified 3.
I don't like you that much, so I'm not going to watch it with you.
That's a reason to make them watch it.
That's true.
Truly. So yeah, qualified 3.
How about you, Anthony?
I would think that I would give it. Which one? Which one is the one that I'll watch it if it's on?
3.
That's a 3. Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I'm giving it. I'll watch it if it's on. If it's a Sunday afternoon and nothing else is on and I'm channel surfing and that's what's on, I'll watch it. But I would probably think that it was the original Conan, and that's probably why I would stop and watch it.
I would have to agree with you. I would watch it only if it's on TV. I would not hunt it down. I would not watch it on streaming, even though I already did. It's interesting. It's always an interesting. It's always an interesting dichotomy to see someone 30 years from ago and now. Speaking of Arnold, and just to see, like, not long after his Mr. Universe and everything, and then after his acting career. And I mean, what I really liked about this movie was that
were the credits?
That was my favorite part. No, that they didn't. I mean, he's huge, but they didn't play to that. Like, you know how like a lot of professional wrestlers will like do the peck dance and like stand there and just like, look at my guns, I'm gonna go shoot people with these things. They're such registered weapons. You know, they didn't play to the camera to that. I mean, certain scenes where they had to, where he was lifting up the door and stuff.
Yeah,
you
but
can't get around that.
With that, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. With that, there's nothing you could do about it.
But I thought they did it. I mean, they did it in a way that it wasn't like obnoxious.
Sure.
I don't want to use tasteful because I don't want to talk about other dudes' muscles like that.
Why not? They were tasteful. He was ripped, man.
Well,
there's no denying that. His I mean, no, he's clearly in shape.
Clearly, but that wasn't. I mean, I didn't focus on his nipples like you did.
Well, you and I focus on different things.
So I think I'm done talking about this movie. I don't know about you.
I'm done talking about nipples.
I say for me, the biggest thing with this movie is how, because I'm a big fan of the original one. I'll watch that any day, any time. How bad this one was compared to the first one. The first one was a bit campy. It had its moments, but I mean, there's bad sequels, but this is like just Terra bad sequel. You know,
Terra bad.
Terra bad. That's a good. Wow.
Terra bad.
Anthony, I think we have a new rating, a 0.
Terra bad. Yeah, so I think that's it, guys.
Terra bad. Wow.
I think this episode of Crossing Streamz was Terra bad.
No, just the movie.
Just the movie, okay.
So, yeah, I'm done talking about Arnold. I'm done talking about this movie. How about you?
I'm done. Drew?
I'm done.
Yeah.
Any last words?
I'm cleared. I'm good.
Okay. You're clear. All right.
Hey, good for you. So
nobody's judge. Okay.
So next week's homework. I've been talking about this movie for a while. I love this movie, not as much as Days of Thunder. I love how ridiculous this movie is.
Yeah.
Major League.
Major League. That's what we're gonna do next week.
Excellent film.
I think Major League is something that's always gonna hold up, no matter what year it is. So this movie should be easy to do. We shouldn't be able to find. Well,
hey, why don't we just do it now? Because I've seen it so many times.
And Zula's in that movie too. So.
Oh yeah, Wesley Snipes. Hey, American Express. Don't leave home without it. Or that was Major League 2, wasn't it?
No, it was one. He wasn't in 2.
You got it.
It was Omar Epps in the second one. He was.
Was it really?
Yeah, they had to sub out for Snipes.
Yeah, he was too expensive, man.
Yeah, he was expensive, all right.
Yeah, he left home without it.
Yeah, he left home without doing his taxes.
Yeah, so that's it. All right, let's stop talking. Let's if you want to catch us, you can catch us on Crossing Streamz everywhere with a Z. So on Twitter, Crossing Streamz, Facebook / Crossing Streamz, crossingstreamz@gmail.com.
Crossing Streamz on iTunes.
Crossing Streamz on iTunes. You can never miss an episode. Subscribe to us on iTunes. You can also listen to us on Stitcher Radio. We're on what else? Google Plus. Google Plus, you can find us. Just search for Crossing Streamz with a Z, all one word. Or you can go to gplus.2/Crossing Streamz. Join the Crossing Streamz community. You'll find that information there also. And you can go to our podcast site, which is crossingstreamz.com, and that has everything on it. So we have links to Facebook, Twitter, Google Plus, everything right on there, and iTunes. Is that everything? That sounds good, right?
Rate us and leave a review.
Oh yeah, rate us. Go on iTunes, leave a 5-star rating. We appreciate those. Leave us a we'll listen to it right after we listen to it the first time.
Yeah,
review.
there you go.
You know, that's a 5. Drew, we thank you for joining us. We appreciate that.
Good time, and I appreciate the opportunity.
You want to tell people about your stuff one last time?
Again, AndroidDissected.com is the website. You can find us on Twitter, which is at ADDITS, @Addits. Or you can find us on Google Plus. Just search out Android Dissected. Or you can circle me personally. Look for Drew Sanders, and you'll see my nice smiley face on there.
Nice smiley face.
I'm a personable guy.
All right, so we're done. We're going to call it a day. That is what I like to call a show. And Sean, Drew, any last words?
Once again, thanks much for the opportunity, guys.
Thanks for having us. What am I talking about? Thanks for joining us. We
hey, thanks for having me, Anthony.
No problem. All right, you guys have a good day, and we will see you next week with Major League.